Extra minutes.
Ian's attitude is amazing. It wasn't always amazing. It wasn't always as positive as you are now, was it?
No, no. Ever since I found out this disease has tried to take a lot of things from me, and there's obvious sort of physical sense, but at the start, even though I thought I was coping and I was doing well, in my own head, like I honestly thought that, but I went through some obvious pretty dark times where I'd push people away, and I just want to lock myself away and sort of not go to work and not come out, and I'd be very argumentative, and I'd snap, and I'd have sort of panic attacks, and I was very low, and there were some days where, sure, like I'd think about ending it. And
would you really?
Yeah, and yeah. It almost cost me sort of everything. Almost cost me our marriage. Like I pushed Mel away, and then I pushed all my friends away, and I just sort of left myself to it, really. And it was finally Mel sort of leaving that like drove me to see someone, and to then onto the right pills and all those sorts of things, just to get my thinking straight.
Yes.
I still do have down days, but I think I've learned sort of coping mechanisms to like get around that and still push forward. And I think having other people around me who sort of now see what I'm trying to do, like I'm always getting emails from other MND patients and things like that. That's a big sort of push for me.
You feel like a role model?
No, like I don't feel like a role model. It's just some days with the lack of funding and the sort of lack of awareness and things that have been around in the past, I sometimes wake up and think, what am I doing? You know, why am I doing this? You know, why don't I just sort of spend time with Mel, and rather than like traveling around the country filming and things like that? And then just every now and then, you know, like up pops an email from like somebody just saying thank you. You know, like my mum has MND, thank you very much. Those sorts of things really help.
And how were you feeling then, Mel? I mean, obviously you understand what he's going through, but it doesn't make it any easier, does it?
No, it doesn't. And, you know, we had a lot of problems with communication to start with, and coming to grips with it. I didn't feel like I could really say anything because, you know, ultimately it is Ian going through this disease, and we're all there with him, but we're not experiencing what that feels like ourselves.
And you can't sympathise, can you?
Well,
really, you can't sympathise.
There's nothing you can really say to take away that fear and that pain. But I think that's a really important message for other people who have just recently been diagnosed, or, you know, with any sort of a terminal illness, or people who are going through a difficult time, is that, you know, you don't go from being diagnosed to being positive and motivated and wanting to go out and make a difference. You know, there's a journey that goes on in that time that people have to sort of, you know, go through to find their way. And I think initially we had seen a few stories of people who'd had MND, other sufferers, you know, Steve Gleason and Scott Sullivan, who were out there being very positive and making a huge difference. And I remember sort of thinking, oh, how did they get to that point? How did they get there? And, you know, I'd really love Ian to be able to see the positive side of life. And it just seemed like it was such a long road. But, you know, eventually he did find his way.